Hey, how y'all doing? This comment goes out to Martin Lawrence. My name is Faye Ayadeli, and I just wanted to give big ups to your production company, You Go Boy Production, for all the good things it's doing as far as the movies and shows and things of that nature. But just wanted to give you a I guess comment or two in reference to some of the things that's going on out here that I'm sure you probably are already aware of. Being the educationally conscious person that you are, and keeping always keeping your ears to the streets. There's a new movie that came out not too long ago, Waiting for Superman. I'm sure you know the type of person you are. I'm sure you've heard of it or you've seen it, being part of the industry and everything. But it's an in-depth documentary slash movie that goes in depth into all the statistics and things of that nature of both the inner city youths, the middle class suburban youths, and the international youths as well, as far as the test scores and as far as the achievement gap. And the movie was a great and beautiful movie. I loved it. I embraced it. It was a great movie done by David Guggenheim and as well as Jeffrey Canada, who was seen in the movie. But the movie, I believe, didn't give enough. I guess they shed enough light on a lot of problems that the inner city kids were going through. Because in the movie, most of the kids that were previewed in the movie or show, previewed in the movie, was between probably the ages of 7 and 12 years of age, and most of them were educationally conscious. They were aware of what they were doing. They were aware. They were sure of what they wanted to do in life, and the parents or so the guardian that was responsible for them, they were the same thing. They were involved in their kids' education. They were involved in their kids' future, trying as much as possible, either through the school system or through other avenues or whatever, trying as much as possible to make sure that they achieve the things in life that they want to achieve and pursue. But I believe the other part of the inner city wasn't brought to the limelight. I believe the other part of the inner city that has youth that don't care, that are not aware of what's going on in the school system, that really could care less about even school itself. I think that part is the one that is probably wasn't shed enough, that enough light wasn't shed on, and that is probably the biggest problem that the inner city have, is that group of people that don't care, you know, that just pretty much has all sorts of environmental, domestic, and personal issues with themselves, that the education and going to school is probably the last thing on their mind. But like I said, nevertheless, I'm not taking any credit away from David Guggenheim and Jeffrey Canada. I believe they did a marvelous and excellent job in the movie. But I just believe that enough light wasn't shed on the interest level of the kids, because right now our educational system or our educational standard is probably, I think, if I'm not mistaken, within the movie even described this, that out of 30 developed countries in the whole world, America came in 25th place or so as far as achievement and as far as stats are concerned. I mean, that's very low. I mean America is the world superpower. America is supposed to be top of the notch, biggest and baddest country in the world kind of thing, and here we are coming in 25th place out of 30 developed countries. So I believe that's a problem with the inner city youth. I believe it's a problem with the youths in general. And I know you being a father or whatever, you can relate to that, as far as you wanted the best and the nothing but the best for your own children, as far as education, as far as anything that they want to pursue in life. But I just believe that, like I said, the movie didn't shed enough light on the main subject at hand, which is the interest level of the children itself. And right now, I believe the interest level of the children, call me crazy if you will, is hip hop. I mean, you know this better than anybody, Martin. You know that hip hop is part of these kids. This is part of their persona. This is part of their world. This is what they do. This is what they're about. And I just believe that if some of that can be incorporated into their teaching skills or their curriculum or so, I believe it will have outstanding results. Um, Having said that, uh, the point I wanted to make across to you was this: that 5 years ago, this same concepts or these same ideology that came out in the movie Waiting for Superman, which created, like I said, that educational awareness of what was going on in society with the youths and their educational system and levels and things of that nature. 5 years ago, I wrote a script called Inner City High, and this script or this movie, it just goes in depth into a lot of things that Waiting for Superman didn't. It talks about the inner city youth. It talks about their interest level. It talks about all the day-to-day struggle that they go through each and every day to try as much as possible to advance themselves and to do different things that they need to do to move on in society. Um, and it also, I guess it also relates to the generation of nowadays, because I know all of us were kids at one time. And our generation, Mario, was a lot different from the generation that's ongoing now. Right now, back in our day or whatever, it was more or less like our parents talked to us, and for the most part, most of us listened. They told us to go to school, get a good education, and try as much as possible to be someone in life, a lawyer, doctor, or whatever avenue your educational level takes you. But nowadays, these kids don't care. You got people like schools like Columbine bringing assault rifles to school and shooting up the whole school. You got people bringing bombs, pipe bomb to school, and all sorts of other different catastrophic weapons that they bring into school. So a lot. I guess the point I'm trying to make across is the generation is different, and we have to find some kind of avenue or whatever to create this interest level, because we can't force them to learn. We can't force them to do what we want them to do. We already tried that; it doesn't work. So like the old saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. So how can we join them? How can we find their interest level? We ask them, and like I said, 9 times out of 10, most of them will tell you it is hip hop. This is their world. This is their culture. This is what they dream about. And I'm not just talking about just the music industry per se. I'm talking about football, basketball, anything in relation to this young black youth society-driven kind of culture that all of them are paying very, very close attention to. I think if we can redirect that energy that they have in the hip hop, and we can somehow bring it together with their school curriculum, I believe it'll have astonishing results. I believe that we will be able to achieve so much greatness that we can't even fathom it. But all of it starts with the interest level of the children, and that's why I wrote my screenplay for Inner City High. It goes into depth and about all these things. Like I said, with Waiting for Superman, it was a great, wonderful movie that gave a sort of awareness to what was going on in society with the youths. But my screenplay, Inner City High, is basically the one that I believe will start that revolution that these kids need to go through. This change, this sort of psychological mentality change that they need to go through in order to be able to be great people and do great things with the knowledge that they have. Because like I said, you can't force them to do anything. Like the old saying goes, you can force a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink the water. I know you remember this movie years and years ago by Morgan Freeman, Lean on Me. That movie, it basically showed a school principal came into a rough and rugged school and brought a baseball bat with him, and all these narrow-minded concepts of lock down the school, beat them with the baseball bat when they say something wrong, and just speak real harsh to them, and the test scores will go up, and they'll study, and they'll be so afraid of you that they won't have any reason but to graduate. But honestly, that was an isolated situation for that era. I believe it was a true story, but maybe it was a situation for that era and time and for that specific school. But nowadays, that doesn't work. Like I said, this generation is totally different. You say the wrong thing to a kid or whatever, you're liable to be slapped with either a lawsuit, or the kid will probably be waiting outside the school for you with some weapons. So at the end of the day, what we need to do is this: we need to capture the youth's mind. We need to capture it by trying as much as possible to find out what their interest level are. And their interest level is hip hop. It doesn't go any further or any deeper than that. Like Albert Einstein once said, things as simple as they are shouldn't be simpler. Corporate America, they capitalize on this. They see they see the wealth. They see the interest level in hip hop. You got Snoop Dogg with Lee Iacocca on commercials, doing Chrysler commercials, for God's sake. Nothing's wrong with that, but the corporate America, they see this and they use it. They capitalize on it. It could be for the right reason or for their own personal gains, but whatever reason that they use it for is that if these Harvard graduates and all these intellects or whatever can see the value of hip hop, why can't we? And I believe my screenplay that I wrote, Inner City High, brings all these things out in the forefront, out in the open. How we can educate the kids, how we can get good results, and how we can try as much as possible to help them instead of hurting them. And I believe Oprah Winfrey said it best when she said at one time that everybody in this world strives for validity. What do you want to be noted for? What's your validation? What do you want to give back? Are you going to be remembered for all the accolades, all the Grammys, or all the Oscars or Tony Awards that you won over the years, or do we want to be recognized for a difference that we made in the children's lives and in the youth? Like they said, charity starts at home. Let's help these young people. Like I said, Martin, you're a father yourself, so you can relate to what I'm saying as far as wanting the best for your children. I want the best for my children. I'm sure each and every parent out there wants the best for their kids as well. And this script, this screenplay that I wrote is inspirational. It's full of triumph. It's full of tragedy. It's full of so many things that these kids go through on a each and on a daily basis in a city. And I believe nobody but nobody has brought that out to the limelight. If it's an original script, it's not something that was watered down by Hollywood or sugarcoated or anything like that. It's raw material. And I believe that if these kids in a city, if they see this or whatever, this will start a movement. Like I said, Waiting for Superman, I believe, started an awareness. My script, my screenplay, my hope to be soon a movie, Inner City High. I believe it'll start that revolution. It'll start the kids, get them on that right path of being socially aware, socially conscious of their surrounding, and doing something about doing something to better themselves in their lives. So get at me, Martin. I know, like I said, you're a man with your ears to the streets, and I mean you got a lot of money, you got a lot of clout in Hollywood as well. But these kids, we need to get this information out to them, because who better to do it than somebody that understands them, you know? And I believe you're the man to do it. So get at me, Martin. FEYI02 at AOL.com. Let me know.